Time to die, Frieza. No, it's time for you to die. Ready? Got a gun! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Vegeta, that's cute. I remember when I didn't have facial hair.
You want to go?
My pleasure.
The time is now, Kakarot. Fight me!
Dragonball Z. Dragon, come.
The Dragon Ball Z figures were based off of the popular anime that aired in North America in the late 90s. The main character, Goku, worked with his friends battling aliens, androids, and other powerful creatures for the power of the Dragon Balls, 7 orange balls that granted the wish of those who collected them all. The anime is considered a staple in the 90s generation, so naturally, there were toys. This is our back in the 90s look at Dragon Ball Z action figures.
There are 2 things that Dragon Ball Z action figures can do. They can shoot energy beams,
And you can take off their clothes. Almost all of them have like removable clothing, which is kind of weird. I wonder if you got the Bulma doll. If you could take her clothes off, that'd be really interesting.
Unfortunately, I don't own her, though.
Damn it.
You know what I found weird is for figures that are supposed to be martial arts experts, they are not posable at all.
No, they're not.
Like, some of the older figures, like the Bandai figures, like this Vegito figure, for example, like, he can move his arms. And that's it.
No, but they didn't, like, and some of them just, like, were stuck in poses, like what you have, like this Captain Ginyu one, and then that Goku one.
Yeah.
Where it's just, like, they're stuck in these positions.
Well, later on they got their act together, like, I have Frieza's third form right here, and he could at least move his legs around, so he could actually kick and stuff like that, but most of the old ones, yeah, they didn't move too much. The weird thing also is that some of them, like, you could just pull their arms off like nothing. Like, there's no joints on them.
Right? Like that. Something that I found that, like, again with the whole shirt thing, it's kid trunks. Why do you have kid trunks with his shirt off? That's kind of disturbing, and just to say the least. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's what happened. You know, in Dragon Ball Z world, you fight, your shirt comes off. Simple as that.
It gets blown off in the fight. No. They're not taking their clothes off to have relations with each other. One thing that always bugged me about this Goku action figure is it was the first one I got. I got it for Christmas one year, and he's stuck in the Kamehameha position, and it looks awesome. Like, he's in such a cool pose, and he can shoot an energy ball and everything like that. But I always wondered, like, what else can I do with him besides shoot energy balls? Like, he just can't do anything else. He can move his hips and stuff like that. Like, what's he supposed to do when he has to go home and be a family man? I don't know. Like, does he make love to Chi-Chi this way? Like, Kamehameha! Shit.
That's another thing that suck about these action figures. Anyone who collects action figures, they can't stand up. Like this Vegeta one is just like, nope, he just falls over and
spend like half hour trying to get Gohan to stand up here. It's not happening.
Oh, there goes Vegeta. Some things that I remember from like back then using these was like from the show. You wanted to like create your own scene of the show, but the thing was like, if you remember any episode in between episodes, even like the whole what's a good one, Goku versus the Ginyu Force. There's like between every single Ginyu Force member, there's just Goku charging up, and he's just like, ah, and you'd be a kid screaming, and your parents would be wondering what the fuck you were doing in your room.
You'd be playing, yeah.
Like that you're having a seizure or just like yelling at something and like, are you okay?
Going back to that, I would be playing in my room, and my heartbeat would actually be going up from playing because
adrenaline rush.
I'd be in there, I'd be like, and my mom would come and be like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm just playing Dragon Ball Z." And she's like, "Oh, okay." My asshole brother used to make fun of the fact how you could always take their clothes off. It was always a joke. Even us that owned Dragon Ball Z figures thought it was funny you could take their clothes off. And I would go to the bathroom or something like that. I'd be in the middle of an intense battle between Goku and Frieza, and I would leave the room, and all of a sudden I'd come back and Goku's shirt would be off, and then Frieza would be doing this to him, and be in a 69 position. All the Z fighters would be having oral sex. Like it wasn't cool. Like I'd get pissed off. Like now I know my collection really isn't as impressive as some of the people out there on YouTube, but these are the only ones I could really find for the review. I do have more, but they're all around my house somewhere, all hidden. What I always found funny is how easy it would have been for the toy designers to make these, because there's like a million different forms of every character. Like I have 2 forms of Vegito here, and then I have 3 forms of Goku. Like they could have made an entire series dedicated to all of Goku's forms: Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2,
Super Saiyan 3,
Super Saiyan 4 fusions,
Kid Goku,
Like,
Adolescent Goku.
There's probably 9,000 versions of Goku out there. Actually, you know what? There's probably over 9,000 versions.
And there's the joke. We did an over 9,000 joke. Are you happy now? I know everyone was waiting for it, but we're not going to stoop to your level. One story that I think is hilarious has got to be when you were talking to me about your Cell story.
The Cell story, yeah.
Let's just set this up. So the show came out in 1996 from our sources.
The English dub, yes.
The English North American series came out. Before that was Dragon Ball, and it was coming out. But Dragon Ball Z came out in 1996. Around the time when we started playing with it was around then.
1998, 1999.
Around 98, 99, just before Millennium.
Yeah.
Around that time, I think it was in either the end of the Frieza series or the beginning of the Android series.
I remember being the Frieza saga, 1999, the Frieza saga, and the figures were just in their prime. Like I was buying them all the time.
You had like everything of Goku.
Yeah, and there was all of them out there. You had Piccolo, you had Goku, you had Krillin, but no one really cared.
Yeah, fuck Krillin. At that time, it was just the biggest thing possible. So I guess, you know, as the hardcore DBZ fans out there will say, like, you know, you might have known about like what was going to come up next if you like started reading, if you read the manga or you knew what was happening or you watched the Japanese versions first. But you know, we were
8 years old,
8 and very young, and we just didn't know anything. And so
yeah, I walk into the store and they're selling a Cell figure, and I'm like, who the fuck is Cell? Like I'm 8 years old. I'm not a big hardcore DBZ fan. They hadn't even aired the English dubbed episodes with Cell yet. But since it said Dragon Ball Z across the package, I bought them anyways, because I'm like, it's Dragon Ball Z. Like, at that time, they could have put a cat turd in the box, and if it said Dragon Ball Z on it, kids would have bought it.
As soon as we saw like something brand new with Dragon Ball Z, it was, back then, it was so mounted into the pop culture that it was just, you know, you had to have it. And surprisingly, it's still into our culture that, you know, yes, GT was kind of a failure, but we won't go into that. But, you know, it's still extremely popular. As soon as you mention, like, you know, over 9,000 or, like, Super Saiyans and stuff, there's tons of people that know exactly what you're talking about, because it was just what was popular, and it's, like, the most popular cartoon that was on, that and, like, Pokemon and stuff.
I always thought about owning a Cell figure without even knowing who he was, or even Vegito. Like, I didn't, for the longest time, I thought Vegito was a bad guy until Goku and Vegeta did the fusion dance, and that was like the biggest mindfuck ever. I'm like, oh my god, Vegito is Goku and Vegeta. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But as a kid, I just thought he was a bad guy. I'm like, oh, it's one of the first figures I got. And I'm like, oh, look, he looks bad, so I guess he'll fight Goku. I didn't know he was pretty much Goku.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Since you didn't know who they were in the series, you could kind of make up your own scenarios.
Or then even when you learned about them, you could replay scenarios, or you could, make up your own story, or you could. It was just, I think.
Force kids to use their imagination.
Yeah, because you got to get
kind of
these things.
straying more and more away from these days with like the fancy toys with those batteries and.
We get hard pieces of plastic that don't move, and we had to use our imagination to make our own little fun with them. I'm gonna ask you, Brody, this: who is your favorite character out of all the Dragon Ball Z characters?
Oh, I have to go with Goku, even though I'm sure he's pretty much everybody's favorite character. He's the lead character. He was such a role model when I was a kid. He's the hero, and he's so compassionate of others.
Mine, I honestly think I remember watching the Dragon Ball episodes, and Piccolo had been my favorite just because he was kind of that character, just like Vegeta, where he was really too cool for everyone. Like in the Dragon Ball Z, he was the most evil. He was the definition of evil. And then when he got to save Gohan's life and teach Gohan martial arts and everything, he became really cool because he was just this tough, badass dude who didn't give a shit at all. But he was fine, I'll help you, but I'm not gonna like it. So I thought that was really, really cool.
So that's our back in the 90s look at Dragon Ball Z action figures. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
All right, so we'll cut right there, and
All done? Okay.
I'll just edit it and stuff. So.
Wait, I really need to go to the bathroom.
All right, cool.
One hour later.